Now I could use a template, which I normally like to use because I don't do circles very well. But this is um, a small bowl that I used to have water in to clean out my brushes. So let's do that. I'm going to use a number 2 pencil, mechanical. So anything you have at home, you can use as a template. Don't worry about the lines going over each other. That's fine. Okay. And let's get some straight edges going on. Again, following the general here, but again, a bit different. And this is from the packaging of my new phone, that I liked the different shapes, and I cut it out, and I'm using it for the shapes. Good, I like that. So this is how it's so far. I'm going to place a paper towel over here because I don't want to have any undue influence as far as how I progress going forward. So it kind of looks weird, but we'll see how it turns out when I edit it. So I'm going to use my go-to ink set, which is Staedtler 8 pigment liner. I don't anticipate using these underneath any more painting, but if I do, the ink is permanent and archival, so it won't discolor or bleed out. So let's see. Now I'm probably going to use my pencil again, but I'm not sure, but I will put it away until I need it again. So going in with my Staedtler, I'm going to use the 1.0 for the outline of my shapes. And if you make a mistake as far as the line goes over or under, don't worry. I don't know if I'm going to include the pencil marks outside of the square, but we'll play with it by ear. Now, I'm not using the 1.0 all over the shapes, but primarily on the outside. And I'll explain why in a bit. Like I said, don't be overly concerned as far as the lines being straight or wonky. It doesn't matter. In the end, it'll be great. I'm going to rest that for a minute and go in with my 0.7 or point. Sorry about my ring light up here. So suddenly it's decided to stop up. I don't know why, but anyway, going back is going to be using my 0.7 on some of the lines on the inside because it's a smaller nib than the 1.0, and I like the different nib sizes because it gives it a bit of visual variety. Okay, yeah. Okay, and now you can use any pens that you like or that you have. I like the Saddler because it is waterproof, especially when you let the ink totally dry. So I'm using the 0.5. Again, it's smaller nib than the 0.7, marginally, but that's fine. And take your time going over the lines of the pencil. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just have fun doing it. Alright, so let's give it a little bit of thought as far as doing the border around. Okay, that was quick. I decided to connect the shapes using my 1.0 and going around the edges, and when I come up across the edges over here or here, follow the lines of the background and include it, and it's kind of more organic looking. And move your paper every so often to make the doodling process a bit more easier on you. So let's go in. So far, so good. Let's give this a rest, and I will be back momentarily. So the reason I paused is I wanted to give the ink a bit more time to settle down and dry a bit more, because although the Statler will dry kind of quickly, but you want to err on the side of caution, especially in using your eraser. Like, this is a kneaded eraser. It's kind of like Play-Doh, and it's like a gummy substance. But the good thing about these is that they're gentle on your paper, and won't leave any residue behind. Generally speaking. If you notice, I erased a bit of pencil in this area here and this one here, because even though and here, even though the pencil is there, you don't necessarily have to follow all the pencil marks as it is, as opposed to drawing in every pencil mark. Now, some people don't like to have pencil marks showing, and if you're one of those, which is fine, you can use your pen to incorporate it as you see fit. And I noticed while it's was drying that I missed this part here. So I'm including that now. And anything else that I see? Yeah, over here. So the next step I like to do is to round out any areas or any lines that come together and create an intersection. And if you're right-handed, as I am, it's better to start on the left side. That way, when you're done, everything has a chance to dry out, and you don't have to worry about smearing your piece. Now I realize that depending upon how many objects are in the doodle will depend on how extensive your time will be in rounding out. But believe it or not, it's really kind of relaxing. And here I'm using the number 1.0 because it allows me to have a larger space to work with as I'm filling out some of the corners. Later on, I'll use a smaller point to go in with some of the other areas as well. But you do you, and we'll all be happy. And even though there's nothing here to round out, I'm going to include something now. So you can always play around with your doodle if you want more areas to round out. Go for it. and being careful not to smudge, because obviously when you use more ink, it requires more drying time. Especially on an absorbent surface, such as the Canson XL watercolor pad that I'm using. Okay, I think I'm going to retire this pen and go with my number 7, 0.7 pen to get in with some of the smaller rounding. And remember, when you do this, have your grip on your pen like you are holding an egg. That way, you are not exerting a lot of pressure, but you're just gently holding on to your pen. And you don't need a lot of pressure. So, and remember to breathe. Breathing is good. Okay. Relax your shoulders, breathe, and relax your hands. And move your paper if you need to. And if you go over the lines that you do, you can always round it out even more. So this is an area that I have a problem with, but easily adjusted. And if you want to add more connections, go for it. After all, this is your doodle, and you can do whatever you want. Just have fun. Let's add some down here as well. Yeah. See, that was easy. And let's give some attention over here. And over here. So how do you like it? Now, you could sign it or let everything dry overnight, and with a fresh perspective, you can go in and detail and doodle in each section however you want. So how do you like it so far? Remember to be kind to yourself, especially when you're trying something like this, if it's new to you, and be kind to others. And I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye.